Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Oh, she's here. She can't find how to get on, so I'll give her the number, okay?
Okay.
She's trying.
Okay, so let's get started here. And if people are hopping on, that's great. So welcome to our launch training. Most of you know me. Some of you might not know me as well. So this is my family here. This is my husband, Gary, and my daughter, Whitney. And I can honestly say that never in a million years did I think that I would be doing this, but I absolutely love what I do. I really love it. I love helping others be all around healthier and happier, and I also really love being able to help my team reach their goals, whatever they might be. And I also really love that we get an opportunity to change people's perception of network marketing, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but I love that opportunity. Who is this training for? You might be wondering why you're here, and that's okay. You're in good company. It's all right. This really is for anybody who just loves their oils and wants to tell others about them, even if that's friends and family. And it's also for you if you want to do those things while keeping your friendships, relationships, and sanity intact. Because we are figuring this out, people. What doesn't matter? The size of your goal doesn't matter. It actually doesn't even matter. Maybe you don't have a goal, and that's okay. Maybe your goal is $50 for garage sales or a manicure. Maybe you want money for a car payment or a mortgage, or maybe you want to replace a full-time income. All are welcome. It doesn't matter if you're brand new to oils or if you're a seasoned veteran. And it doesn't matter how many hours a week you think you might be working and doing doTERRA stuff. Doesn't matter if you think full-time or part-time. None of that matters. This is really for you. I hope that you feel comfortable enough to relax and just experience what our team is all about and what we have to teach you tonight. So this is our Fierce Leader group. So I want to talk about our team culture. So really, we are on a mission to give people a positive experience with network marketing. And I don't think that we're going to change everybody's mind. That's not my goal. But if we can even change one or two people's perceptions, I would consider that a huge victory. We lead with our hearts and we lead with service. We're committed to authenticity and integrity. Our philosophy here is customer first, team second, me and my ego third. And I think you'll see that as we go throughout this. And we admit it when we blow it, and we aren't afraid to ask for forgiveness. So that's just a little bit about our team and what you can expect from this group. And we would not be here. We would not be here on this Thursday night talking about any of this if it weren't for these oils. So let's not forget that. Let's not forget how amazing they are and the amazing results that we've had and that other people have and the hope that they bring and the healing that they bring. This conversation would not be happening without them. So let's just keep that in perspective as we're talking tonight. And this is just a funny picture of me, but I just want to say you're not going to experience pressure from me or I'm sure from who invited you. I know where I'm going, and so does whoever invited you, and we're simply offering an invitation for you to join us on this journey. The agenda for today, so in the initial part, we're going to talk about some baggage because we can't move forward unless we unpack some of that. I want to lay the groundwork for some of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. We'll talk about the sales assembly line, which is going to make a lot more sense to you when we get there. And we're going to have a live demonstration of a sales conversation. In part 2, we're going to break down the sales assembly line and learn each skill. Then we'll talk about some action items that you could take moving forward, and we'll have time for Q&A as well. Okay, so let's dive in here. I know this is kind of a funny meme, but I think this is really true. This is when I think of either network marketing or sales especially, like there's so much baggage. And maybe you don't have your own baggage. Maybe you're carrying somebody's baggage that you love who had a negative experience. But I think we all, if we admit it, have some when it comes to the area of sales especially. So sales. This is another funny meme, but this tends to be how we depict a salesperson. Like when we think in our brain, when I just ask you point blank, what do you think of when you think of sales? Some of the words that I tend to hear, manipulative, high pressure, icky, kind of an icky feeling, not for me. If I had a nickel for every time somebody was like, oh, I'm not salesy, I don't want to be salesy or pushy. And we think of whoever this guy is, the used car salesman. So what sales is not selling products to somebody who doesn't need them. That's not true. And it's not convincing somebody to buy something they can't afford. And it's not like selling ice to an Eskimo. It's not those things. What sales is really learning about people and connecting with them. It's about learning about their goals and their problems and then offering them a product that will help them reach their goals and solve their problems. There are 3 types of salespeople. Okay, so first is unethical. And this is the used car salesman. And in truth, it is a very small percentage. And every industry has unethical people, so I'm not quite sure why sales gets such a hard time on this one, but they do exist. The second would be an untrained salesperson, and this is actually the majority, and this is probably something that will resonate with you. This is where maybe you are or maybe where you've been, but we don't like to think of ourselves as salespeople, so therefore we never take the time to learn how to do sales well. And the worst part is that we end up contributing to the negative image of salespeople even more. So by trying not to be manipulative or pushy or salesy, you actually kind of in a weird way act like those things. And it just kind of feeds the negative perception. Okay, so the third is the trusted advisor. So you care about people, you're sincere and kind, you're helping people solve their problems, you communicate well, and you're serving people. So which one do you want to be? Obviously, I think we all want to be trusted advisors, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. It really is a skill that can be learned, and we're going to do that. So another thing that people tend to carry some baggage around about would be closing. Okay, so I want to give us a new definition for the idea of closing. And this is really just helping somebody move forward with a decision they already want to make. Whether that's a yes, whether that's a no, it's just helping them move forward into one of those 2 decisions. There's 2 types of closing. The one that you're probably thinking of, I would call reactive closing. And when in the oil world, what this looks like with doTERRA is you sample somebody, you follow up again, you sample them again, you invite them to a class, they can't come, you invite them to a class again, they come, then you follow up, and it goes on and on and on. And another way that reactive closing looks is if somebody gives you an objection like, oh, I can't afford that, then you say something like, well, think about how much money you spend on coffee drinks each day. Okay, this is not something that I find fun. I do not like reactive closing. I do not think it's fun, okay? Let's talk about proactive closing though. This is about understanding why people don't buy and proactively addressing these issues before they come up. This is what we're going to talk about. This is possible. Okay, some other groundwork that I want to talk about before we get into the nitty-gritty tonight. Let's talk about why selling on the fly doesn't work. So picture yourself in one of these scenarios. Maybe you've been in one, with some friends or with some moms, and somebody turns to you and asks you about your oils. And then what? Chances are, and I can say this because I've done it, that you probably word vomited on them and pulled out reference books and started talking about how they cured your child from all sorts of things and cured yourself. And people look at you like you're the crazy oil lady because you kind of acted like one. Okay. And then you're trying to talk about how do you get oils and all this, and it's just not professional. How do you think that other person feels? If our philosophy is customer first, how do you think your friend feels who just asked you, hey, tell me about that lavender oil, and got totally blasted with 150 things they can do with lavender oil? Okay, they don't feel very great. And if we're customer first and team second, how do you think somebody on your team might be like, I can't do what she just did. That didn't feel very good. Okay, so we don't like to sell on the fly. And we're going to talk about how you can, I don't want to say avoid this, but yes, avoid this, and how you can rectify these situations when somebody brings up oils so that you're not just vomiting on them all over in a public place. If you're having a hard time grasping this, picture this. Picture you're at some kind of an event, a kid's birthday party, and there's a lawyer there. And you're like, hey, let's talk about this. I have a question about some kind of a paperwork thing, a legal thing, I don't know. And they just whip out their briefcase and they whip it open and they have you start signing papers right there on the cupcake table and doing stuff. They don't do that. They set an appointment. They set a time to talk to you. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. But for those of you who dread these situations, never fear. We have an answer. And we have to talk about sampling. And this is a little bit controversial because sampling is in like the lifeblood of what we've been taught for many of us. But let's just talk about this for a minute. How do we really feel about sampling? The trips to the post office, the time, the money. Do you see results? Do you feel like people are really appreciating the full benefits of what an oil can do for them? What I find is this: they never get used. I have to start following up. Maybe they just took it because it was something free and they didn't really want it. Maybe got lost in the bottom of their purse or their kid threw it out the window. And I also feel like if they do like that oil, then they just want that one oil. They just want some digestion. But what about when their kid has a sore throat? What about when somebody is puking and you don't want somebody else to be puking? What about cleaning? What about, their respiratory system? So just helping them get one oil is not really caring for their whole person. So samples just don't really show the value of what we're offering, and it's going to save you a lot of time and energy, and it's ultimately going to help your customer because they are going to really experience all that oils can do for them. Okay, so I had to talk about sampling. Next, we're going to talk about appointments versus classes. What you're going to see tonight is an appointment. It is more of a one-on-one, personalized time when you can really teach somebody about oils and what they can do for them. I prefer appointments over classes because of how you can personalize and really care for somebody in that way. Classes still can be done and still can be done well. I just really would encourage you, if you're trying to figure out how to help people with oils, to really focus on appointments. I think you'd be amazed. And you can also do appointments in via technology. Doesn't always have to be in person. So it's a great thing. Okay, so here's the sales assembly line. These are the skills that we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about how do you set an appointment. This is how we learn not to sell on the fly. Then we're going to talk about, once you're in the appointment, we're going to teach you how to give an agenda, how to gather input and learn about their goals. We're going to teach you about how to share the company story, how to explain and personalize the product, in our case, the top 10 oils. And we'll teach you how to close with just 2 options. That's it. How to set up a follow-up appointment and how to ask for referrals. Okay, so everybody, we've got a live demonstration here for you. So let me press this button. Let me just stop sharing my screen for a minute. Okay, so does anybody have any questions up to this point? I want to say that first. Are we all doing okay? Okay, so my mom and I are going to sample or demonstrate an appointment. So we have not rehearsed this. This is just like candid, and you're going to get a chance to see what this would be like. And I want you, as you're watching this, to be thinking of the following 2 things. I want you to think of what it feels like to be my mom as the customer who has come in not knowing much about oils, wants to learn. How does she feel? Does she feel cared for? Does she feel pressured? So I want you to think about that. And I also want you to think about me and being the person who's actually sharing about oils with them. Is what I'm going to be doing hard or difficult? Does it seem complicated? So be thinking of those things as you're watching us do this. Okay, let's pretend we're at a coffee shop. If I have to time out and explain something, I will. But I vote we just totally go for it. Are you good, Mom?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I've really been looking forward to this. So in our time together today, we're going to talk about your health goals. We're also going to talk a little bit about doTERRA and the most popular oils. You do not have to buy anything if you don't want to, but if you see something you'd like, I can definitely help you order that today. So what are some things that you for sure want to go over today?
I just don't really know that much about oils, so I was hoping that I just need the basics.
Okay, good. Well, you are in the right place. Tell me a little bit about what are some things you have going on that you're wondering, is there an oil I could use this for? Maybe some health goals, maybe some things going on in your family.
Yeah, well, I'm just in that age group where I'm not sleeping really well, so I often wonder if there's something I could do aside from taking NyQuil PM or something. I don't even know if that's a and but I also, one of the things I struggle with is neck and shoulder tension.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Anything you think for your husband or anything like that? Hi, come. He's here. Here, poke your head on the screen.
Oh, my husband?
Hi. Thank you. I wasn't able to respond because of the call.
I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Okay, thanks.
I have 2 surprises for you.
Bye, I love you. Look at that, guys. You get that delivered. Okay, sorry, back to the appointment. Anything for your husband or anything that you think would be helpful for him with oils?
I think that if there's something that would help with his decreased immunity,
okay.
Because of his medication, he can get sick a lot. And I often wonder if there's something that we could do that would help that.
Awesome. You seem so young. Do you have kids that are little or any littles in your life that need any care?
Oh, that's a good question. We do it. We have a bunch of grandbabies, 7 of them. So
you're so hip hop and happening. So anything for them? Anything as you're being a grandma?
I think it'd be really nice to be able to put something in their bath water to relax them before they go to bed. And I often wonder, what would be safe? Could I diffuse something in that plastic thing? Would that help them at night?
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So tell me what you already know about doTERRA.
Not much. I know that there's a bunch of crazy people in my town running around talking about it, but I don't know much personally.
Okay, good. Okay, so basically, doTERRA is the largest essential oil company, and they're all about helping families find natural solutions for their everyday lives. I feel like people like you turn to doTERRA when they are not getting the results they want with what they're currently trying for their health. They're tired of using chemicals for literally everything. They have zero brain space to be researching all the options out there, and they just need something simple and effective that works. So doTERRA offers a full line of kits, so you can find something that meets your needs, whatever they might be. What I love about doTERRA oils, why we chose them, is because doTERRA is sourcing their oils in a way that nobody is and testing their oils in a way that nobody is. This can really be seen in their partnerships with 120 research facilities and universities, including Johns Hopkins. They are committed to putting the most pure and potent oils out there so that when you use a bottle, you're getting the best quality and the best results every time too. They're incredibly philanthropic as well, and they just go above and beyond in just about every way. They have amazing customer service. So if you get a bottle of oil and you are not satisfied, if you return it within 30 days, you're going to get 100% product credit to try something else or 90% returned back to your card. Isn't that nice?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to give you the 3-minute version of what oils are and how you use them. So when you leave here, you're going to know everything you need to know about oils. So basically oils come from plants, but the difference is that they're really potent and concentrated. So that's why I like to be able to teach people, because it's important to use just small amounts. 1 to 2 drops is really all you need. They're 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs, so they're really powerful. And there's 3 ways that you can use them. So you could use them aromatically. You mentioned a diffuser. That's a great way to use oils aromatically. And you could just smell them out of the bottle or put some in your hands and smell it. Another way you can use oils would be topically. And you're either going to put it where it hurts or you're going to put it on the bottoms of your feet, is my 2 tips for you on that. And I want to talk about diluting oils, especially because you mentioned grandbabies. So what I mean when I say diluting is you're going to take a carrier oil and you're going to mix your 1 to 2 drops of essential oil into that. It could be fractionated coconut oil. It could be almond oil. And that's going to give your skin a little bit of a barrier to kind of process what you've put on it. I always dilute for anybody under the age of 6, anybody who's elderly with more sensitive skin, or anybody who's pregnant or nursing. And the last way to take an oil would be internally. And you're going to want to use a glass or a stainless steel container when you're using oils internally, because they dissolve plastic, especially citrus oils. You could also put a drop right underneath your tongue in a pinch. But those are the 3 ways that you can use oils and what they are. So did that help a little bit?
Yeah, that helps a lot. I have a quick question. What if it dissolves the plastic, what will that do to my insides?
Yes. So the cool thing is, oils are synergistic with our bodies because oils come from plants, and plants have a similar cell makeup to our own bodies. So they work well with us. Plastic is obviously not from nature. It's man-made. So it's not synergistic, and it can actually, citrus oils will start to dissolve it because they have detoxifying properties and they break down the toxins.
Thank you.
So your insides are safe.
Awesome.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about the most popular 10 oils that come in the Family Essentials kit. All right, so the first is lemon, and you're going to love this oil because you will literally be able to clean everything in your house with this oil and water. You'll replace every product in your home, and it will be so safe to use around your grandbabies. You can clean their toys. It will be awesome. And you're also going to love this oil in your water because I know that you're busy and I know that you're managing a lot of things. And so it's going to help keep you energized and focused and really ready to go. The next oil I want to talk about is lavender. And you mentioned those grandbabies and bath time and bedtime kind of stuff. Lavender is a really gentle oil. So for their baths, you can mix it with a little bit of milk, just a drop or 2, and put that in their bathtub to help them be relaxed. And you could also dilute some for the bottoms of their feet or put it in a diffuser for bedtimes. So that would be really helpful. And you're also going to love this oil because this time of year, it's so great for bug bites and stings. It really offers great relief. So you'll be really glad to have it. Let's talk about peppermint next. Lavender, also you're going to want to use it for your own sleep because you mentioned that you're working on sleep too. So maybe a little on your pillow, a little bit behind your ears. You'll be good to go.
Can I put a little on my cute husband that came in with the iced tea?
Yeah. Iced tea boy. Cheers. Mm. So then let's talk about peppermint. So peppermint oil, you are going to keep this by your bedside. So when you wake up and you think, I don't want to get out of bed, you're just going to sniff it and you're going to be so ready to go, totally ready to go. And if you feel like you've been out in the sun too long, this is the oil that you're going to use to help cool a sunburn, or if you've touched a hot oven, it can be cooling and offer relief in that area too. And there's always a feverish grandbaby when grandbabies are together. So you could dilute this oil on the bottoms of their feet to offer them some comfort.
Or a grandma with a hot flash.
Yes, I wasn't going to assume that you have hot flashes because you seem so young, but I thought maybe you could. Okay. Okay, let's talk about Melaleuca next. This is commonly known as tea tree oil, and you're going to use this oil every time you have a sore throat. You're just going to put a little bit on the tip of your tongue, swallow a couple times. You can do that every 30 minutes, and it is going to really change the course of that sore throat, and you're going to be so grateful that you have it. And it's also got all those really great like antifungal, very cleansing properties. So anything that's looking a little funky, just grab your Melaleuca. And you have beautiful skin, so you wouldn't have blemishes. But maybe your husband does. He looked kind of crazy. Maybe he has blemishes. So you could put a little bit on any kind of a blemish or a skin thing. It'll be really helpful. Next, I want to talk about oregano. Okay, so this oil, when you need it, you're going to be so glad you have it. It's basically like nature's antibiotic. So you could put some in a veggie capsule, which is just an empty pill capsule, and take that internally, or you could dilute it on the bottoms of your feet. But when you feel something coming on, you reach for your oregano, and you will be amazed at what it can do for you. And you can make a killer batch of spaghetti with it, just a tiny bit. Okay, so frankincense. Frankincense is the king of oils. It's going to be so relaxing after you've had a long day and you're trying to unwind and go to sleep. You could mix some with your lavender. You could put a little bit on the back of your neck. It's going to be super, super awesome for that. And also great for those little grandbabies when they bump into something or they have a cut or something that needs some healing. You can put some, you could dilute some and put that on the area that was hurting, that was sad, when Whitney runs into the corner of a table. You said you sometimes deal with like neck and shoulder tension, so you could just massage this oil right in to your neck and shoulders, maybe with a little peppermint oil, and that will really help relax that for you, okay? Let's talk about digestion, okay? Stomachs. Your stomach, your husband's stomach, your grandbaby's stomachs, everybody's stomach. Whenever something is off, you can just literally rub it right around your navel. It's so great. You can put some on the bottoms of your feet. You will be so glad to have this oil because tummy troubles are the worst. Let's talk a little bit about Breathe. This is the respiratory blend. So you're going to really like this oil at night to diffuse for restful sleep and open airways. And anytime that anybody has congestion, maybe from something seasonal or an environmental thing, oh my gosh, you just dilute it, paint it here, maybe over your sinuses, good to go. Maybe a little on your chest. Your husband will really like this as it replaces some things that he's been using for a long time that he shouldn't be using.
Let's clarify, those are earplugs. Right?
Oh no, I was talking about Vicks Vapor Rub, but I was trying not to say it.
No, it also helps when I use it, he doesn't have to use his earplugs. Right?
That's right, you won't snore. This is where our role playing gets shot down because I know she snores and she didn't even say it. Okay, On Guard is next, and this is going to be perfect for your husband and his immune system. It's going to support him really naturally in a very holistic way. He can incorporate it into his routine, put some on the bottoms of his feet, and so you could diffuse it. And you're also probably going to like to do some cleaning with this. You know, make a hand sanitizer, things like that for when you're on the go, when you're with grandbabies. It'll be super helpful. And last but not least, Deep Blue. So this is another one when you said you're feeling tense, you could just massage this into your shoulders and you'll feel so relaxed. And I know that you're a hard worker outer, so if you have a really hard workout, you could use this on anything that's sore and it's going to offer so much relief. So is that helpful?
Yeah, they're all helpful. I'm so amazed at how you remembered all those health concerns I had.
I took notes.
Oh.
So I know. So now I'm going to tell you about the two most popular kits. The first is the Family Essentials kit, and it comes with the 10 oils that we just talked about. It's smaller size bottles, about 80 drops of each oil, and that's going to be $150. And the other really popular kit is the Home Essentials kit, and it comes with the same 10 oils, but bigger bottles, about 250 drops of each oil, plus my favorite diffuser, the Petal Diffuser. And this one is $275. If you were to pick one of those kits for you and your family, which one would you prefer?
Well, I prefer the one with the diffuser.
I know diffusers are so nice. Let me tell you a little bit about my first appointment special. So what I would love to be able to do for you, I'd love to be able to send you home with something to use, maybe something for immune support for your husband or something for sleep for you. Which one of those would you prefer?
Oh, sleep for me.
Sleep for you. Good. Pick yourself, darn it. So if I were to make up a sleep roller for you, would you like to go ahead and order that Home Essentials kit today?
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay, great. So I'm going to give you this form to fill out. I'm going to mix up that roller bottle for you to take home. And then we would do that. We'll time out. Okay, back time in. Okay, so now that your oils are going to be on their way, the next thing that we're going to get to do, we get to sit down just like this, and I'm going to help you with your oils so you feel really confident using them. And I'm also going to show you how to use your account so you are all set. So I could do next week, Monday or Thursday at about 11 a.m. Do either of those work for you?
Thursday is better. Thursday at 11.
Okay, perfect. It's a date. And the one other thing I wanted to ask you, so I really only like to meet with people that I either know or who have been personally recommended to me. I'm looking for people who care about their health, but also believe that quality is important, people who are nice like you. They wouldn't have to buy anything just like you. I'd meet with them for about 30 minutes and just do what I just did for you. So who do you know that you feel like would fit that description?
Oh, wow. I have a neighbor that's been talking about natural stuff for a long time. She would be really good.
Perfect. Yeah, if you would pass, if you have, 2 to 3 people that you would pass along to me, I would love to gift you that immune roller for your husband so you could take that home as well too. And I'd love to find out a little bit more about those people, like when is a good time to contact them, how do they prefer to be contacted so that I could care for them well. And I don't want to bug them, so if we could kind of brainstorm on that, that would be really great.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. So that was the whole sales conversation pretty much. So any thoughts on that? So the things I asked you to think about were, how do you think it felt to be my mom as the customer? And how do you think it felt to be me? Do you think that was difficult or hard or complicated? So anybody have any thoughts or anything that they were thinking about during that whole shenanigans?
You talk like you're, what is that, auction person, but I felt like, I like how you said the word you, like it really felt like it was all about your mom.
Mm-hmm. Good. It's supposed to be all about my mom all the time. Yeah, I was a little speedy today. I don't do that in real life, but
Well, kind of,
sort of. I know it's a thing I'm working on. We can all admit that. But you'll also thank me because otherwise we could be here for a long time. But you're right, Lindsay. I've got a problem.
Oh, no. I appreciated it too. I was just like, that's amazing because I don't think if I spoke that fast, people wouldn't understand what I was saying.
Maybe that's why people aren't getting oils. They can't understand me. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, so if that's that there, I think I'll pull back up the PowerPoint and we'll transition into part 2 and kind of break that down so you can see why I did what I just did. Yes, Mom.
I just want to say, we were role playing, but it is so neat when you start off and you say, this is going to be fun. I've really been looking forward to this. Mm-hmm. This is all about you. Mm-hmm. That's like, even though I knew that was what you were going to say, that just feels really nice. Mm-hmm. And I've done this sales conversation a lot this month, and I still aspire to be like you. And I just really, I find that it's good for me to tune in and watch this again because I know this stuff and I kind of have it down, but I get wordy. I just do. I say too much. And you really, do you really keep it that short? Do you really for breathe? Do you just like digestion? You didn't talk about, you just gave one example and you moved on.
Some of those oils, like the blends, if I tell them okay, digestion. The other thing I could say is this. You could dilute it when you have sinus issues and put it over your sinuses. Are they probably going to remember that? No. Will we talk about that in oil camp? Yes. Because if you have somebody that says, I need to think about it, it means you've overwhelmed them. So I did this sales conversation. Well, I did it in class form twice this week, but I did it in person once this week. And it was literally exactly what you just saw with my mom. And she walked away with the kit and didn't have to think about it. So it is how I do it.
So I guess practice really does make it better.
It does.
And you have to remember, I think it's good to go back and look and practice because you can start adding stuff in.
Yeah. Well, and the more uncomfortable we get, the more wordy we get. So if you could just bring yourself to a place where you're I feel more comfortable with this, you become more concise because it's really easy to get uncomfortable and get wordy. We all do it. There's hope. All right. So let me share my screen. Okay. So all right, part 2. So I just want to reiterate what you just got to see. We're going to talk about setting an appointment in a minute, what you just saw. So I gave my mom an agenda. I gathered input and I learned about her goals. I talked about doTERRA with the company story. I told her what oils are and how you use them. I explained and personalized the top 10 oils for her. I closed giving her 2 options. I set a follow-up appointment, and I asked for referrals. Okay, so outlines. Let's talk about this for a minute. So the following slides are full of outlines and examples for each component of the sales conversation that I just did with my mom. And I really just want you to see it broken down. And the goal is that you would use these outlines to kind of write your own, but to keep it similar, because there's a reason that the certain wordings and verbiage is in there. But I hope that you can use these as a guide, and I will tell you at the end how you can get access to them. Yeah, you don't want to lose the essence, but you want it to sound like you. And for some of you, you might be literally for like your first month setting appointments with people that you know and love and basically reading from the outline. And that's fine. And then you'll be amazed at how it kind of becomes second nature, and it becomes easier to do that as you're moving forward without reading from it. So I told you that I would teach you how to set an appointment. So this is how you avoid selling on the fly. This is how we move forward from that and compartmentalize our oils conversations with people, especially our friends and family, so they know that when they're with you, they can trust that you are with them like for them and for the relationship, and that you've compartmentalized the whole oil topic. So here's an example of maybe you're thinking, hey, I'm going to take this outline and I'm going to go and reach out to some family members and set up some practice appointments. So I know this is out of the blue, and I wanted to get your thoughts on something. I'm starting to set up appointments with people to teach them about essential oils. And as part of my learning process, I'm trying to set up appointments with people I know so I can get comfortable. You don't have to buy anything if you don't want to. My part will take about 30 minutes. I'm just going to go over what things you would want to know about some of the most popular products. Would you be willing to help me out? We can do it over technology or in person. Which do you think would be better today? And I've got 2 appointments left this week. We could do Tuesday or Thursday, which works better for you. So how the heck are you? Okay, so let's talk about this outline a little bit. And I just want to call attention to a couple of things so you understand why it's done this way. So first here we talk about, it went backwards. You get the oil thing out of the way right away. And then at the end you say, so how the heck are you? Because if you come into it and you catch up with them first and then you say, hey, I was just wondering, then it seems kind of, you're trying not to be salesy, but it kind of comes off a little, not secretive, but almost. So just get it out of the way. Just be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, take it or leave it. And that will free you up. And then this part right here where it's really important to remove people's barriers. So barrier number 1, they're afraid that they're going to have to buy something. And that's not true. So just tell them you don't have to buy anything if you don't want to. And they're afraid to meet with you because they're afraid it's going to take 4 hours. It's not. So say my part will take about 30 minutes, and then you can remove that barrier. And then they don't want to meet with you because they're unsure of what you're going to talk to them about. So you say, I'm just going to go over what things you would want to know about some of the most popular products. And boom, you've removed that barrier. I think it's really nice to be able to offer via technology or in person. And instead of saying, hey, what time works best for you, and never hearing back from them, you've said, I've got 2 appointments left this week, and you've given them 2 options so that they're not overwhelmed by an open-ended calendar. Okay, so that's how you would set an appointment out of the blue. And if you need to transition a conversation to setting an appointment when you are at a birthday party or something, I don't know why I say birthday party, but whatever. Apparently I go to a lot of birthday parties. This is where we use our usually script or outline. We say, usually what I do is I set up a time to meet. We're going to go over your health goals and anything that you want to know about essential oils, doTERRA, and the most popular oils. My part takes about 30 minutes. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, of course, I'll help you order it. Is that something you'd be open to? And there, same thing. You can see some of those same components. My part takes about 30 minutes. This is what we're going to talk about. You don't have to buy anything, etc. So those are really, really important things to be able to say to people so they don't feel anxious about talking to you. Okay, so now we're in the actual appointment. This is what you saw me do with my mom tonight. So you start off with the agenda. You know, you probably have some icebreakers, you catch up with them, you talk a little bit, and then you kind of jump into this portion. I've really been looking forward to this. First, we're going to chat a little bit about your health goals and what you want to know about oils so I don't overwhelm you with information. And then we're going to go over doTERRA and some of the most popular oils. You don't have to buy anything if you don't want to, but if you see something you'd like, you can order it today. So what things do you want to make sure we go over today? And now you're thinking, Amy is so redundant, but let me tell you, when you set an appointment with somebody, they, in the time that you set the appointment to when you're actually sitting down with them, have already felt anxious all over again. They've forgotten that they didn't have to buy anything. They forgot that that your part only takes 30 minutes, and they've forgotten what you're going to talk about. So you need to remind them so they can actually relax and enjoy their time with you. So you're going to see that here in the agenda again too. And then you learn about their goals. We used to talk about sharing your story, but I'm going to be honest, nobody really cares, not as much as you think they do. They're really there to learn about themselves and what they can do to help them. So let's learn about them. So here's the outline. Before we get started, catch me up. What are some of your overall health goals? And then you let them share and you zip your mouth. And if they stop sharing, you say, great, what else? And you keep asking, what else? And saying, tell me more. Because it's about them and you want to know what they need to know more about. And then the line that will help you transition to the next part of the outline is by asking, what do you already know about doTERRA? And this gives you a little bit of a chance to get a feel for like if they're coming in with their guns up or if they're coming in not knowing anything. And this is going to lead you into the company story. Okay, I'm going to show the outline here for this and then we'll talk about it. doTERRA is the largest essential oil company, and we help families use natural solutions for their everyday lives. People turn to us when their current approach to health is not achieving the results it was supposed to. They are tired of using chemicals for literally everything. They are confused by all the natural options out there and are overwhelmed when researching it, and they want something simple that works. doTERRA offers a full line of essential oil kits to help you and your family, whatever your health goals are. doTERRA has really raised the bar in the essential oils industry. They are the most tested and trusted oils on the market. And this can be seen in their partnerships with over 120 research facilities and universities like Johns Hopkins. There are no fillers, no artificial ingredients, no pesticides, and no dilution. The plants are grown in their ideal environments all around the world, and every batch of oils goes through 6 levels of testing to ensure purity and potency. When you see a doTERRA label, you can be assured you are getting the highest quality oil and therefore benefits on the market. And doTERRA has really amazing customer service. If you don't like it and return it within 30 days, you will get 100% product credit to try something else or 90% return back to your card. And that's it. Every one of us on this call could probably talk for 45 minutes about how amazing doTERRA is, and we would probably cry about it in some portion. Just one second. Okay, thank you. So you have to keep it short. You have to keep it brief. So in this first portion, you're going to give a brief description of doTERRA, and then here you're going to talk about why do people choose doTERRA? What issues are we addressing? So that's what these are here. And then you tell them what doTERRA's offerings are. They offer essential oil kits. And then you're going to say what makes doTERRA different, and really only like 3 to 4 things that makes doTERRA different, even though there are many more. And then you talk about the customer service and the guarantee. Okay, so that's what the company story looks like. I think it's important to give just a basic description because most people you're going to meet with don't know what oils are or how to use them, or they need a refresher. So this is just here for you to see. I don't need to go back over this, but I think it's good to see that you can do this concisely as well. There's a lot of things we could talk about in this area, but I think it's just good to give them the basics. So you're going to want to do this for your people for sure. And that takes you right into the product explanation and personalizing the products. And we just talk about the top 10 oils because if there is if you have those 10 oils in your home, you could really conquer anything that comes your way. Pretty much. They're amazing. So you would say, let's talk about the most popular products that come in the Home Essentials kits. And some key phrases that you're going to want to use, like earlier you mentioned, I could have said to my mom, earlier mentioned that you struggle with sleep. And then you make it specific to their goals. And you're going to want some go-to examples. Like you are going to use this when blank. You are going to use lavender when you've had a long day and you need to sleep really well. So here's an example for peppermint. Earlier, you mentioned that you get head tension, and this is what you're going to use for that. Just massage it into your temples and on the back of your neck. Also, do you know how when your alarm goes off and all you want to do is hit the snooze button? Just put a drop in your hands and breathe it in to help you wake up, open up your airways, and give you a boost of energy. Amazing, right? And here's an example for lavender. Earlier, you mentioned that you and your family don't sleep well. Just put some of this lavender in your diffuser and on your pillowcases, and you'll all sleep like babies. And when summer comes and you get those pesky bug bites, just put this lavender right on to help soothe them. So you can see here that it really is about them. Try not to talk about the way that you use the oil yourself. Talk about how they're going to use it. And then the closing, this is so simple. It can be so simple. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the two most popular kits. This is the Family Essentials kit, and it comes with everything I showed you earlier in smaller size bottles, about 88 drops, and it's $150. And this is the Home Essentials kit. It comes with everything I showed you, but in bigger bottles, about 250 drops, plus a diffuser. It's $275. If you were to get one of these, which would you prefer? Okay, great. You would prefer the Home Essentials kit. Okay, great. Let me tell you about my first appointment special where you can either get a blend for sleep or for immune support free by ordering a kit today. Which would you prefer? Some sleep or some immune boosting? Okay, great. Would you like to get the Home Essentials kit and get your sleep blend for free to take with you? And then you smile and you close your mouth and you let them answer. And then you're going to write up your order for that and, help them write up their order, or you can troubleshoot. So let's talk a little bit more about closing, some different variations that you might have. Let's say that maybe they said they preferred the Home Essentials kit, but then they said, you know what, when you said, would you like to get it? They said, I just can't afford it. Okay, so here's something you could say. You can't afford it, that's totally fine. The Family Essentials kit is really awesome and it's $150. You still could get the sleep blend too. Is that a better fit for you? And maybe it's still not a good fit, and that's okay. You can say, I really understand, and I always bring with me this cool intro kit with the lemon, lavender, and peppermint. It's $30 and has the 3 most popular oils. And you can take this with you and start using them right away. Is that something that you would be open to? And chances are they'll say yes to that. And if they don't, then okay, no problem. Let me know how I can help if anything changes. If somebody's not willing to buy a $30 intro kit with lemon, lavender, and peppermint, they're probably not your customer, and that's okay. Then you know and you move forward, and it's fine. You really need to set up a follow-up appointment. So here's an outline for that. Now that your first order is on the way, we need to set up a time to quickly go through how you can order on your own, get the best discounts, and get the most out of your new oils. My part will take about 30 minutes. How does that sound? We can do it over the phone or in person. Which do you think would be better for you? Great. We can do Monday or Wednesday, which works better for your schedule. Okay. And last but not least, you need to ask for referrals. One more thing before you go, I only meet with people I know or that have been personally recommended to me. So one way you could really help me out is by putting me in contact with people like you who are nice and care about their health. They don't have to be people who for sure will buy, just anybody who's nice and might have 30 minutes to talk to me. The really cool thing is that for every 3 contacts you give me as a thank you, I'm going to make you a custom roller blend for free. Earlier you mentioned sleep and allergies. So would you prefer a blend for sleep or for allergies? Okay, great. Here's my pen and notebook. Go ahead and jot down 3 people that fit that description, and I'm going to go ahead and mix up your blend. And Guys, that's the sales assembly line. Like, that's it. If you can master those things and learn those things, that's what it takes. If you learn how to set an appointment, and then once you're in the appointment, to give an agenda, to gather input and learn about their goals, to give the company story, explain and personalize the top 10 oils, close with the 2 kits, set the follow-up appointment, and ask for referrals. This picture is over here because when you don't follow the sales assembly line and it gets broken somewhere along the way, and it goes kind of haywire, you feel like I Love Lucy here, where they're shoving chocolates in all areas because you're trying to like catch up. So it's really simple and effective to just follow this. So what could this really look like? Okay, so I like go back and forth between putting this slide in the PowerPoint, but I think to some people this is really meaningful. So if this is not, hang with me, but for some of you it might be. So let's say you're like, okay, well then what could this really look like for me? So in your first month, if you set 10 appointments, so that would be like 2 to 3 appointments a week. I want to talk about how you would be profiting in your first month. So let's break that down. You would probably be reading from the script to your mom, your sister, best friend, stuff like that. If you do 10 appointments, you're probably going to have 7 sales. I would say probably 3 home essentials kits, 2 family essentials kits, and probably 2 intro kits. Okay, so let's add that up. So you got $60 cash from your intro kits, and then you get paid 20% of the total PV. So $675 plus the $220. So that's $895 total. That's $179 that you're going to get paid in your Fast Start check. So your total income is $239. And your product investment was probably about $115. So you ended up profiting $124 in your first month, and it's going to build and grow from that. But I think it's a really remarkable thing to think about, hey, if I could master this and go out and practice this and do this, 10 times, that you would come out ahead in only your first month and then build on that is a pretty amazing thing. And you could take this example and you could double it. You could say, hey, I want to do 20 appointments, or you could have it, I want to do 5 appointments. But this is kind of a good reference point. Lastly, I just want to talk about some action items. So Facebook group, if you're not in our Fierce Leader Facebook group, you should be for support. My handouts are there, the training binder materials where you can print everything that I just showed you, all those outlines, and anything that you're going to need for an appointment and also for a class. If you haven't seen my doTERRA business overview, I think that would be helpful to you. If you would like to see that, you can reach out to myself or whoever invited you for the recording. If you have not attended and participated in Oil Camp, you should, because this is something you're going to be referring your customers to. So you should kind of know what this looks like. And then you're going to set a date with myself or whoever invited you so that you can just kind of hash this out and see what it could look like for you. The goal of this conversation would be to learn about you and what you want. We could talk a little bit about compensation and just some next steps so you felt like you knew where to go. Okay, we did it. Does anybody have questions from that or anything that they want to say?
I just want to say, Amy, that Melissa has shared the outline with me, and I think I've used it probably 8 times, and I've had success eventually on all 8 times. So the first time I tend to have verbal vomit. So listening to you again tonight was really great and helping me learn not to share too much about each oil, because I'm 62, I've just turned 63. So some of the people I presented to are younger, but some are older, and they process a little slower. So I need to speak slower. I tend to speak fast too, and just talk way too much. So I'm working on that myself. But thank you, because this outline has been great.
Thanks, Jerry. I'm super glad you could be on. And yeah, I'm finding that's an amazing success for you to have those appointments and such great results. I had somebody who got her own kit in June, has done her first 3 appointments, and has closed them all at the appointment. And we did like, this is all she's done. She just is like, I'll do appointments. That makes sense. That's how I did it with her. And it's really incredible how much you're able to really help people. Anybody else have any questions or anything they want to say?
I have a question. I noticed that you presented the Family Essentials Kit first, and I know it can go either way. I tend to present the Home Essentials Kit first because I feel like then it's like a mental step down for them if they can't do it. I want to know if you could address that.
Yeah, I think that it really is fine either way. It's kind of, I hate to say it's minutia because that is like diminishing, well, whatever, but I feel like the reason that I do the Family Essentials first is because in my stage of life, and when I'm thinking of customer first, I'm thinking that for some people, 150 is truly like a big jump. That's like a really big commitment. And I don't want them to feel like I'm like, this is the Home Essentials Kit and this is the Family Essentials Kit. I want them to know that both are really awesome kits. And so that might be a little bit more about my demographic, but that's why I do it that way, is because I want them to feel really awesome when they leave, no matter how it ends up.
Yeah, I guess, and what I've been thinking is I want them to think that that I'm like thinking it's an even playing field for everybody. So here are your 2 options. I don't know. Anyway, I see your point though. Thanks for sharing that.
I like to do the Family Essentials first, but don't worry if you're not. All right. Well, everybody, that is the launch training. And it's 9 o'clock on the nose. So that means it's 7 o'clock for my California peeps, right? So I appreciate you all being on. I hope that you felt like that was helpful. The recording will go up onto YouTube. So if you have any questions, you can get access to it there. If you want me to, I'll put the link in our Fierce Leaders too. So it will be around, but don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. We are here to help. All right, ladies, have a good night.